Hello everyone, Nick here. Welcome to my channel and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. So today I want to talk about why vintage razors are far more superior than today's modern razors. Here I have a 1918 Gillette military issued open comb razor. And a lot of people ask, are these really superior to modern razors? Oh, absolutely. To begin with, for the obvious reasons, they're made from far superior materials. They're easier to clean. There's one blade in this guy. Take him apart, clean him up. It's much easier cleaning this guy than a modern cartridge razor that has 5 blades in it. However, finding a really good vintage razor, well, that's critical. Some of them are in really bad shape, some of them really good shape. The advantages to a modern razor, well, they're pretty user-friendly. This guy right here, very user-friendly, has a pivoting head here. You don't have to think about what you're doing. Just rest it up against your face, put some pressure actually, and just go. It's foolproof. You don't even need to think about it. That's one advantage. But it's made out of plastic. So let's go over what I'm going to be using on this shave, and I'll talk more about the advantages of vintage razors over modern razors. I'm going to go with the leaf shave oil for the pre-shave. The 1918 vintage Gillette US military issued open comb razor. I'm going to lather up with Sterling's Eye Rich Mousse. I've got the matching aftershave splash here. And I've got the Eye Rich Mousse Balm too. I've never used this guy. I'm going to check him out. Got my alum block, and I've got my Parker silver tip badger brush. So I'm going to get some oil on my face, build a lather, and then I'll be right back to talk more about why these vintage razors are far superior over the modern razors. All right, that looks like a pretty good lather there. It's been a while since I used a badger brush. What an awesome tool, man. That thing is so luxurious. So this 1918 military issued Gillette open comb. I'm going to open this guy up. This is a 3-piece razor. And I find this guy to be super aggressive. So I'm not going to go with a feather blade. I'm actually going to go with a Merkur. I've got a Merkur here. I'm going to drop this Merkur in here, put the base plate on, get the handle on there. I'm going to tighten him down, loosen him up, tighten him down again. And I'm going to look at my blade alignment. My blade alignment looks really good there. And I do have some blade reveal here. It's pretty pronounced, so I'll be careful with that. I'm going to dip my razor in the water. We'll get the shave going. We'll talk a little more about these vintage razors. So one reason these razors are so much more superior is because of the material they're made from. They're made from brass, stainless steel. They've got a nickel coating on them. And they last forever. This is a 1918 model I'm shaving with right now. And this is a plastic cartridge razor. There's no way this is going to last as long as this vintage razor did. So because of the materials that these vintage razors are made from and their design that makes them super durable, it's no surprise that they've outlasted cartridge razors, and that many of them are still around today. And like I mentioned earlier, the ease of cleaning. These things are so easy to clean. You just take them apart, whether it be a 2-piece, 3-piece, twist to open. And they're just so simple to clean. There are companies that are still coming out with little contraptions that make it easier to clean a cartridge razor, because it is difficult to clean those. So the cost effectiveness of these vintage razors, or even modern day double-edged safety razors. You can get a pack of 5 double-edged safety razor blades for a fraction of the cost of a 5-pack of cartridge razor heads. A lot of guys talk about the waste. It's less waste. You can recycle your blades. That's actually not true. And to be honest with you, when you're done shaving and you dispose of your double-edged safety razor blade, it is considered a biohazard, so that is not going to be recycled. I know a lot of guys would argue that, but it's just a fact. Another fact is that it does produce less waste to use a double-edged safety razor or a vintage razor with the double-edged razor blades in it. A lot of guys talk about the performance. It is easier to use a cartridge razor, but in my humble opinion, you get a much better shave with the vintage double-edged razor. Because you're actually thinking about what you're doing. You're in complete control. And you're not just mindlessly letting the razor do all the work. And me being new to traditional wet shaving, I can definitely say that yes, I pay more attention to my face and my hairs and the way the hair on my face grows compared to when I didn't use a double-edged safety razor. It's amazing how aggressive I find this vintage razor here. The first time I shaved with this razor, I had a few weepers, and that was with me being careful with it. But I did have a brand new feather blade in it, and right now that feather blade has 1 shave on it, which was with this vintage razor. So that's why I opted to go with a Merkur razor blade today. So I'm going to go against the grain here. And yeah, there is a learning curve with the vintage razors, but that's what makes it fun. And that's why you get the best shaves. Because you have to relearn what you're doing. Or not relearn, but learn what you're doing. And not only is it fun, but learning how to do it, you have to pay more attention to what you're doing. And the side effect to that is you get a much, much better shave. One advantage of modern razors is that some of them come with a warranty. Vintage razors, they come as is. But are you really worried about a warranty with the vintage razor? If it made it to you and it made it this long, chances are it's going to outlive any warranty your cartridge razor has. If you're wanting to get into straight razor shaving, huge learning curve there. And there are extra products that you have to invest in. The initial investment will cost more than just getting a vintage double-edged safety razor and some razor blades, but it's still more cost effective in the long run. Do a little touch up here. But seriously, cartridge razor shaving, it's not half the fun. It really isn't. I'm going to go really light right here because, like I said, this razor, I find it to be quite aggressive. Modern razors are guaranteed to be a good product coming off the shelf. And their use is much, much more forgiving. Now it looks like I got a weeper right there. That's something the Allen block will take care of. I thought I had another one right here. Got a tiny, tiny one right there. So it looks like I got a couple of weepers on this shave also. We'll rinse off, get the Allen block on. There are some arguments that people that are going to begin to shave, that a cartridge razor is a good option for them because of the ease of use. And it's hard to argue with that statement. A cartridge razor is super simple to use. Like I said, it's mindless. You don't have to think about what you're doing. Basically perfect for beginners, but very boring. So I got a little bit of stinging everywhere. All right, we're going to rinse this Allen block off. And that was such a good close shave. BBS there, fellas. Pat our face dry here. Irish Moose Aftershave Splash. We're just going to shake the snot out of this guy. And that should be good right there. Oh man, that is so good. Let's get some of this on our hands here and then on our face. Oh, that is gorgeous, fellas. That is gorgeous. I forgot I got this aftershave splash in the Glacial. You know, I really love that sensation of the Glacial aftershave on your face, so I've got the balm. I'm not even going to use it. But if you're interested, they do offer it over at Sterling. I was just super, super impressed with this vintage razor. And if you're following my videos, you know that I had Razor Emporium revamp in 1939 to 1947 Gillette Tech for me. And that probably gave me one of the best shaves ever. There are a lot of really, really good modern double-edged safety razors. I won't lie about that. But I might argue a little tiny bit that the vintage are still better than those ones. Although the technology is better, the machining is better. I'm just a vintage kind of guy, I guess. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up. Hey, if you're new, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. To all my subscribers, thank you guys so much. So at this point, I've made my mind up. Once we reach 100 subscribers, I'm going to do another giveaway. And we are almost there, man. And I have a feeling we're going to get there here really, really quick. And I'm so excited because that gives me the opportunity to get something really, really awesome for you guys. And let's do a drawing. Let's find a winner. Super exciting. So anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Hey, I'll catch you guys next time. You guys take care. God bless.